Hi, this is Alimayo Arango of ArangoDigitalProduction.com, and today I want to show you how to do an animated write-on effect in Blender instead of After Effects. So let's get started. Alright, here we are in After Effects, and the first thing you want to do is import your drawing or image that you want to have animated or written onto the screen. What I have here is a drawing by one of my favorite artists, Bruce Timm. And this is what I'm going to be using. Alright, the first thing you want to do is go to your effects and presets here in After Effects. And normally what you would do is look for your write-on effect. You would grab this effect, grab it, and pull it right over your illustration or drawing. Once you have it over the layer that you want, you have the effect on the layer you want it applied to, then what you would do is go to your write-on effects panel here in After Effects and click color. I usually like to use a blue because it's pretty easy to see. Then what you're going to do is go to your brush size and increase this. Normally in After Effects you wouldn't see it. It's too small to see originally, so you take it up to about 25. You want to make sure that it's big enough to cover your that was an accident right there. You want to make sure it's big enough to cover the lines you're going to be drawing over. Then what you're going to do is go to your stopwatch and brush position. Click this to, actually make sure your write-on effect time head is in its position first. Then what you would do is click this stopwatch to set up your keyframes for your brush position. And I have this set for, let me move this out of the way. I have this set for my timeline right here. I have it set for 10 seconds. So what you would do in After Effects is hit page down. Oops, 1 second. Hit page down, and then what you would do is just draw out this effect and just try to cover the whole image. Yeah, and what you would do is just continue to hit page down. You're just going to keep going until you cover the entire drawing. And this effect is very useful for explainer videos. It's just a cool effect. I mean, there's actually a lot of different uses. And what's nice about this is it gives you a lot of control in how the illustration is revealed. I mean, right now I'm going very quickly in here. Just because my main objective is to show you how this is done in Blender. As an alternative to After Effects. Yeah, for anybody who sees these videos, me making videos saying in Blender instead of After Effects, it's not that I don't like After Effects. I love After Effects. After Effects is one of my favorite programs. It's just that I think that it is just cool that there used to be a time when I thought that you had to do these effects in After Effects, and I'm glad that I bought After Effects. And however, it is useful that if you have someone else who wants to do this, this kind of have this design option, have something to animate on, that it can be done in an open source program like Blender that can be, easily, legally handed out and distributed. So anyway, you can see I'm almost through this. Again, normally you would probably want to spend just a little bit more time with this, but I'm just trying to go through quickly. Here you can see if I stretch this too far, you see how it forms those balls? You don't want to do that. So as you continue to hit page down, in After Effects, what you would do is, stretch it, but don't overdo it. Sometimes you can get too enthusiastic and just, trying to get it done. And there are times where if you got to cover a lot of distance, you can stretch it and get away with that. Okay, we're almost done. Okay, so once you have the image revealed, not revealed but covered up, then what you would do is you would go to where it says paint style, click reveal original image, then take your timeline back. You can say there's a pretty cool effect as I pull on the timeline, drawing draws itself out. So again, very neat effect, useful for explainer videos and all kinds of different little cool things you could do. So let's move on to Blender. Okay, here we are in Blender. The first thing you're going to want to do is set up your render resolution. So I'm going to set it to HDTV 720p. I'm then going to click right here and go to the movie clip editor. Once in here, I'm going to open, find my picture. If you click this 4 symbol here, you'll be able to see your picture. There it goes. Okay, once you're in here where you see this tracking, you're going to click this and change this to mask. You're then going to click new mask, and you can name your mask for the purposes of this tutorial. I'm going to name it Right On. Alright, now this next part's a little complicated. Just one of the nice things about video is you can go back and you can pause, look, but this actually, while it looks a little complicated, if you're new to Blender, this will actually make things much easier for you to see what's going on. So you're going to come right here, you're going to click right here, you're going to go to Node Editor. Once you're in the Node Editor, you're going to go to this button right here, and then you're going to click Use Nodes. You can roll your mouse wheel to zoom in. What you're then going to do is click Backdrop, and you're going to add a few nodes in here. In Blender, if you can click and move your windows, resize them in different ways. I'm just going to pull this over here for the purposes of this tutorial. We don't need a renders layers node, so I'm going to close there. Then what you're going to do is click Add. You're going to go to Output. You're going to click Viewer. You're then going to click Add Input. You're going to click Movie Clip. You're going to click Add. You're going to select a mix. You're then going to select Add Mask. Also add Distort Scale. If you click on the scale and hit Shift D, you'll duplicate that scale, or you could just grab another one out. I think that's it. So now what you're going to do is you'll see when you click on this movie clip editor that Blender knows that we opened up a movie clip in the movie clip editor. Now we're in a node editor, so when I click here, it gives me the option to go right to that same image. I'll click there. I'll then I'll select from the output of image, and I'll put that into the viewer over here. You can barely see it right there. If you hit V on the on your keyboard, you'll zoom out a little bit. Now what you're going to want to do is take this scale, grab it, and put it in between the movie clip and the viewer. And then what you're going to do is in this box where it says relative, you're going to click there and select render size. And for this mask, you're going to zoom in. I just rolled the mouse wheel to zoom in. You're going to select Right On so that Blender knows what mask you want. Then you're going to put this grab the output of the mask, take this into the scale editor, and then change this to render size also. You're then going to put this You're then going to grab the mix editor, slide this up. When you slide this in between, it'll automatically make the nodes before it attached to it. We want to take from this output, move this down so it's on the bottom input. You're then going to take your mask output and put that into the factor. And then you can just grab these to move these out of the way. So that's probably one of the most technical things we had to do to set this up, and as long as you got that out of the way, you should be good. Oh, and then for the composite where it says mix, it's already going into the viewer. You can grab the output of the mix and put that into the input of the compositor. Okay, once you have this set up and you see the image disappear, the reason why the image disappeared is because the image is waiting for us to put a mask over it. And when we put the mask over it, it'll be just like that write-on effect that you saw on in After Effects. Now here in the mask editor, the main thing you need to know is that, just let me say this. When I am in Blender, I select with the left select rather than the right select. So the things that you see me selecting in the button, you hear me talking about pushing, just be advised that I select with the left click. If you're new to Blender, the way I ended up selecting with the left click rather than right click was I came from Adobe programs and other 3D programs, and to do that you would just go File. To set it up to select with the left click, you would go File, User Preferences, Input, and then just select with left, and you'll be set up like my setup. Okay, now that most of at least I guess the most complicated part of this is out of the way, we can get on with doing the actual effect. When you're in the mask editor, it's important when you form this mask that you form the mask in a counterclockwise way. There's different reasons for this, but the way you form a mask is you hold down the Control, and then you're going to select with the right mouse button, and you click, 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 and click. So that's how you want to start off. How I recommend you start off is with a 4-point mask, and then you see how this mask right here isn't connected. To connect that, what you're going to do is hit Alt C, and then that part of the mask will be selected. The next thing you're going to want to do is come down here to the timeline. You're going to click this red. You're going to click this red button here, and what this is going to do is give you automatic keyframes, so that whenever you move this mask, Blender will remember your keyframes, which is very similar to how the keyframes work inside of After Effects. So basically what we're doing with this mask is, as we pull this mask, let me pull this down so you can see a little bit better. You can see maybe right here, if you hold your middle mouse button, you can drag up this image, which is how I'm doing that. If you look right here, you can see this little piece of drawing is revealed, and the reason why it's revealed is because of this mask right here. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to select these 2 points right here. So you're going to select, or actually 1 point is what I'm going to do. You're going to select this 1 point, and then you're going to hit G to grab, and then you're going to use the arrows on the keyboard. You're going to click the right arrow on the keyboard to make Blender advance 1 frame, and then you're going to move this point while hitting the G key to make the mask expand over the illustration. So right now I'm just hitting, you can see the time frame indicator move just 1 frame right there. Now I'm hitting G, and then I'm just pulling this part of the mask, and if you look up here, you'll see that the mask is revealing the drawing. So pretty much the next couple of this whole part right here is just going to be myself showing you my version of how I think it's best to reveal this this drawing with this mask. Okay, so all I'm doing is advancing the keyframe, hitting G, pulling just a little bit, advancing the keyframe, hitting G, and very similar to After Effects, we're just using this mask to reveal this drawing. Now the difference is you can see how, okay, here's the point, and the point is revealing the drawing. What we're going to do is every time there comes to a curve, or we come up to a curve, you're going to add 2 more points to the mask. The way you're going to do that is by holding Control and then putting your mouse right over the mask lines and then right clicking. So you'll put 2 points, add them to the mask, and then they'll kind of be acting like an anchor, allowing us to drag this 1 point and continue to reveal the drawing. So I'm hitting G to grab, advancing your frame, G to grab, And with this, I'm just going to select this point in this mask and pull and grab to make sure this part stays revealed. Okay, and in Blender, when you're over a screen, if you want to make that screen big, you can hit Shift Space, and that's what I'm going to do just to make it easier to see. So all the nodes, everything is still there. I just increased the size of the screen. If I hit Shift Space again, it goes right back. Whoops. And it'll increase whatever screen your mouse is over. So we're just going to continue on here. Advance one frame, G. And again, whenever we have a problem with a turn, what we'll do is just hold Control and then add 2 points as an anchor, adjust them, and then continue on. I'm going to try to do this, when you're seeing this tutorial, like if you've seen any of my other tutorials, or even if you haven't, I'm trying to give you a basic, basic flow or workflow of how to do this. But the more time you take doing this, most likely you'll get your results will be, your results will match up the time you put into it. So here's a big turn right here. We're going to be going down this line here. So again, I'm going to hold Control, add a point there. I'm going to add a point here, and now I'm going to leave this point here as an anchor and grab this point and continue down. So advance a frame, G. Advance a frame, hit G, advance the frame, advance the frame again. And that's, you can see it's very similar to what we did in After Effects. I'm going to hold Control at these 2 points again as anchors, advance the frame, G. There's multiple different ways to go about this. I mean, you guys might even find a better way to do this than I'm doing it now. And if you do, I would actually like to hear from you. I tried this out actually multiple different ways. I've actually learned a decent amount from doing this tutorial. But if you find a better way of doing this, yeah, definitely let me know. I would definitely be happy to hear about it. And as you see here, I'm just continually to advance to add points wherever I need them. I'm hitting Control and right click to just add them, and I'm just advancing by hitting the right key and then just pulling this mask so that it reveals this drawing. So I'm going to hit Control again, and I'm, the movement, I'm pretty much just going back and forth from the keyboard to the G key. Now see how this point is bending right there? If you hit R to rotate, you can make it so it's going in the right direction. So I'm going to advance the frames, pull again, advance the frames, pull, and then sometimes you have to adjust the other frames. And see, here's a big turn coming up here. So I'm going to hit Control, add 2 points, advance the frame, and continue on. It's almost like you're grabbing. You set your anchors, and then you would advance your mask to cover these lines up. Like I said, I thought it was just very cool. I mean, it's just amazing the fact that Blender can do so much of what After Effects does. Trying to not take forever doing this. Okay, here's another point again, so we'll hit Control, right click, and you adjust it as best as you can to I'm going to rotate so this is out of the way, but you see I still have it so this line is firmly in the mask. So I'm going to grab and advance the mask. Whoops. Alright, so now I'll come here and I'll hold control, hit R, add extra point, advance the timeline, hit G to grab the mask. I'll adjust this point right here. When you have a problem like this that you see, you'll just rotate. That should solve it. Okay, and of course this is the tedious part. I'm going to add points again. And again, adding the points is just control. And with my particular mouse setup, it's a right click. Add some more points here. And every time you see me, I should be every time, sometimes I think I missed it. You should be hitting your right arrow button to advance the time frame. Sometimes you'll have to adjust your mask. You just can hit G to grab your mask points and pull them around. I'm gonna head just so I don't mess up this other mask line right here. I'm gonna add another point there. Is this a point here? Nope. I'm gonna hit control, add another point. And the goal is just to cover this entire drawing up. Now what you can do in here, and I'm going to show you where we're at so far. Remember to go back to make this screen go out of full view, just hit shift and the space bar. If you see here, if you look on the time frame indicator, as I drag the time frame indicator, you can see the mask drawing itself. Revealing the drawing right here. Okay, I'm going to hit shift space again. Now so far this entire mask, everything that we've covered so far has been one mask. What I'm going to show you how to do now is sometimes it's easier or better to add another mask layer. And the way you do that is, here's our current mask layer. You're going to hit this plus symbol here, and now we're ready for another mask layer. So just like before, you want to draw the mask, the original or the first mask shape of a mask layer. You want to draw it in counterclockwise fashion. So you're going to hold control and then click. Whoops, too close to the other mask, it grabbed on. Click, and then to close that mask, you're going to hit Alt C. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is just like I did before. I'm going to advance the time frame, hit G, or grab my point first, hit G, pull, advance the time frame, G, pull. I'm going to select this one and rotate it just so it's set up so it's easier for me to pull this out. And then for here, to make this curve, I'm going to add 2 points, continue on from this point. Hitting control, adding more points. Advance the time frame, move. Advance the time frame, move the mask. So let's hit shift space, go back and look, see what we have so far. Okay, you can see it's drawing itself out. And again, you know, depending on how much time, obviously, is what you're going to get as far as the final result. Because I'm making a tutorial, obviously, I'm trying to go fairly quick. So we've got this part covered. Now we're just going to quickly go here. So what we're going to do is add yet another mask layer. We'll zoom in close for this one. So you're just going to click this plus, sets up another layer. And you're going to hold control and then counterclockwise form this original mask. And then Alt-C to close. And advance the time frame, hit G, pull the mask. Rotate this one. I'm just selecting, hitting R to rotate. This to make it a little bit easier. Alright. Advance the time frame, hit G, whoops. Make sure you hit the right grip or right point. Advance the time frame, hit G. And again, you know, as needed, you know, grab the points, set them up so they're the easiest position for you to, you know, continue on with your work. Advance the time frame, hit G. I'm rotating just to make it a little bit easier. Advance the time frame, hit G. I'm going to add a point right here, just so I don't run into that other line. Advance the time frame, hit G to pull. Advance the time frame, G to pull. I know it's tedious and redundant, and that's even when I'm not saying it, you know, that's what's going on here. And then when you see how this is close to these lines, you know, zoom in as close as you need to. Advance the time frame, hit G. And I'm going to add in points right here. Advance the time frame, hit G. Whoops. Make sure you're set up right first before you advance it. Advance the time frame, hit G to grab. That's what I'm doing. I'm advancing the time frame and hitting G to grab. Hopefully you guys will get something out of this, because I know it's tedious. It's mind involving enough to make you have to, like, you know, your mouth kind of like automatically shuts when you're concentrating. But then tedious enough so you, as you're doing it, you realize that it's, yeah, probably this particular part pretty boring, but so I'm just advancing the time frame every time, you know, hitting G to grab. All right, so we'll continue on. So advance the time frame, G to grab. I'm gonna hit Control and add some more points in here. Rotate this one and zoom in as close as you need to. We're going just to cover up this line right here. I'm gonna hit Control, grab a. I'm hitting pressing Control and right clicking to add those points. I'm gonna hit G. Let me rotate this in the right direction. There we go. Advance the time frame, hit G. Advance the time frame, hit G. And so on. I'm gonna add some more points. Hit Control. Whoops. Rotate slightly. Here we go. Adjust this one up. I was debating on whether I should just have this sped up as I go through this point, but myself, I probably would want to see it. You know, you can always skip forward, I figure. on the YouTube video to, go. I mean, if you got the gist of it, don't want to suffer watching me go through the tedious part. For this part, I'm going to add 2 points right to here. Well, that messed me up. I'm going to add a different mask. So hit plus to add a mask. You're going to do counterclockwise. Whoops. Not too close to the other one. Control, 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 counterclockwise, then Alt-C to close the mask. You can actually, when you're selecting this mask, hit C and paint over it to move it out of the way. I'm going to advance. Whoops. G. Rotate. It's going the right direction. Advance G. Advance G. And like I said, I hope somebody says, hey, there's a much easier way to do it. I'm sure there is. But this is my particular way. I'm going to hold control. Add two more points. Advance, hit G. Advance, hit G. And that's G to grab. Advance, hit G. Advance, hit G. Advance, G to grab. Okay, we'll hit Shift Space so we can see how everything's looking so far, and just focus your attention right here. Pretty good so far. Okay. I just want to hit Shift Space to zoom out here again. Right now what I'm going to do is add another mask layer. I'm going to draw a mask counterclockwise again. Hit Alt-C to close it. Advance the timeline. Grab with G, advance the timeline. Hit R to rotate this head. Advance the timeline. Advance the timeline. Hitting G. I hold control. I'm going to try to speed this up. Already long tutorial. Zoom in a little bit closer. Okay, so I'm just going to click plus here. Again, counterclockwise. Oops, crap, you were too close, it'll automatically join into another mask, so we'll go here. And then, crap. Alright, it's that alarm. Making sure I'm not taking too long. Still recording, okay. Hit Alt-C, whoops, Alt-C. No, hit Alt-C, there we go. Let me grab another. Control, click, advance the time frame, hit G to grab, advance the time frame, G to grab. And that's what I'm doing right here, just over and over. Control, right click, advance the time frame, G to grab, advance the time frame, G to grab. So when you're making these tutorials, a lot of times you're like, oh my gosh, this thing is so tedious. I was gonna watch this thing, and I made up a tutorial with how to do green screening in After Effects instead of in Blender instead of After Effects, and I kind of thought the same thing, and that was like, people seem to really like that, so I was like, wow, really? And I'm gonna hit Control to grab these points. And basically, when I'm grabbing these points, the way I'm thinking is I have the kind of like the two anchor points, and I'm pulling the one that's best suited to move in the direction I want it. And you kind of want to, whoops, what the heck happened there? Kind of want to rotate so it's aiming in the right direction. Advance your frame. Advance your frame. And then just as you're trying to draw right over the lines to make it similar to After Effects, or the right on effect in After Effects, I should say. It's just putting those two anchor points and grabbing this one. Seems to be the way to go. Okay, so we have the eye. So all we have is this part right here. So what we're going to do is add another mask. Alright, so just adding these points, almost done. I made this, making this, let me not get into it. Should have probably made it at a different time, but almost done, people. Advance the time frame, hit G. Add some points for control. Advance the timeline, whoops. Advance the timeline, hit G. Advance the timeline, hit G. How many times have I said that now? How many thousands of times? At least it seems like thousands. Okay, I'm going to make one more mask just to cover up this right here. So I'm going to click plus to add a mask. I'll start it right here. I'm going to hit in a counterclockwise manner. Then Alt C to keep it closed. Just adjust this, so then advance the timeline. Whoops, grab this point right here, hit G. Advance the timeline, hit G. Advance the timeline, hit G. Advance the timeline, grab whatever point, is relevant to where you need the mask to go. I'm just going to go ahead and cover the rest of this with this same mask here. So again, when you're going through this, hopefully you'll have the main idea and process, and you'll be able to take it from there and hopefully do some really cool stuff with this. Now I'm just going to grab some of these others. We're basically done. Grab some of these other points just to make sure everything is covered up. Okay, so now what we're going to do is hit Shift Space. Let's go back and see. There's a little problem with the eye there. It's kind of weird. And you don't have to, the way I had it where where I had it separated isn't necessary. Trying to make this eye not look weird. Oops. It looks pretty good with the exception of the eye. Zoom in and try to fix this. Okay, that's it. And hopefully I didn't drive you people crazy with all of my, arrow G to move and all that good stuff. It's just something I thought of. It was a cool thing that you could do in After Effects. You could make explainer videos out of it and all kinds of different, reveals. I mean, you could take this technique, you could use this for pictures. I mean, you could use this for all kinds of different stuff. So that's the end of the tutorial, guys. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys' support. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe, and thank you guys for checking this out.